2022, deepfakes of two presidents surfaced during the war in Ukraine. One clip showed Vladimir Putin urging citizens to surrender. Another showed Volodymyr Zelensky telling his own soldiers to lay down their arms. Both were fakes, both were believable. In May 2023, an image of an explosion at the Pentagon went viral on Twitter. Verified accounts spread it. The stock market dipped. It was generated by AI. In January 2024, fake explicit images of Taylor Swift swept social media. One post was viewed more than 45 million times before it was removed. Welcome to the deepfake era, where some of the most watched media in history never happened at all. Deepfakes are synthetic images, videos, and voices so realistic that seeing is no longer believing. This video is about the arms race those fakes started between creators, scammers, detectors, and lawmakers. By the end, you will know how deepfakes are made, why they exploded, and exactly how to protect yourself. The word deepfake was coined in late 2017 by a Reddit user called Deepfakes, who swapped celebrities' faces into videos he did not own. But the technology goes back further, to June 2014, when researcher Ian Goodfellow and his colleagues invented the Generative Adversarial Network, or GAN. A GAN pits two neural networks against each other. The generator creates images, the discriminator tries to spot the fakes. Every time the discriminator catches one, the generator improves. It is a machine learning arms race inside a single model. Today's tools add diffusion models, the same technology behind popular image generators, which need far less data and produce far sharper results. Voice cloning is even easier. A short sample of someone's voice from a call, a video, or a voicemail is enough to impersonate them. Free tools, a normal laptop, and a few minutes. That is all a convincing fake now costs. That collapse in difficulty is the single most important fact about this technology. So how big has this become? In late 2019, the cybersecurity firm Deeptrace counted the deepfakes it could find online, about 14,678 videos. The number had nearly doubled in under a year, and 96% of those videos were pornographic, almost always made without consent. That was before generative AI went mainstream. Now anyone can generate images, video, and audio instantly and free. The scale has shifted from thousands of videos to billions of synthetic images shared across the internet every year. The pornographic deepfake problem did not shrink, it industrialized, with dedicated apps and services. The point of no return was crossed quietly. Fake content is now cheaper to produce than real content is to verify. The question is no longer whether a fake can be made, it is how we decide what we can trust at all. And that is exactly what the scammers figured out next. Deepfakes have become a business, a very profitable one. In 2019, the chief executive of a British energy firm transferred €220,000 after receiving a phone call from what sounded like his parent company's boss. The voice was cloned. In 2024, a finance worker at Arup's Hong Kong office joined a video call with colleagues he recognized, the chief financial officer among them, and transferred $25 million. Every person on that call was a deepfake. The consulting firm Deloitte estimates that generative AI-enabled fraud losses in the United States could climb from about $12.3 billion in 2023 to $40 billion by 2027. The average loss per deepfake fraud incident already exceeds $500,000. Even job interviews are not safe. North Korean IT operatives have used AI-generated faces and voices to pass remote interviews using stolen identities. This is fraud at industrial scale, and it targets companies, families, and individuals alike. The most dangerous deepfakes are not the spectacular ones. They are the quiet, boring phone calls. Democracy runs on recordings, videos of leaders, ballots, speeches, proof of what happened. Deepfakes attack that foundation directly. In April 2018, filmmaker Jordan Peele teamed up with BuzzFeed to publish a fake of Barack Obama, a public service announcement built to show exactly how convincing the technology had become. In January 2024, an AI-generated robocall impersonating President Biden told New Hampshire voters not to cast a ballot in the primary election. The FCC proposed a $6 million fine. During the war in Ukraine, deepfakes of leaders were used to spread surrender messages and confusion, information warfare aimed straight at trust. There is even a term for the reverse effect, the liar's dividend. When anything can be faked, real evidence can be dismissed as fake. Scammers, tyrants, and corrupt actors all benefit from that doubt. That is the real political cost of deepfakes, not just the lies they tell, but the truths they can bury. Against all this, there is a defense of sorts. Deepfake detectors analyze faces, lighting, and movement for the tiny errors generators leave behind. In 2020, Microsoft released its video authenticator tool. Lab models have scored around 96% accuracy on academic benchmarks like Face Forensics++. But in the wild, accuracy collapses, and detection is a treadmill. Every improvement in detectors becomes training data for the next generation of fakes. So the industry is trying a different approach, watermarking at the source. Google's Synth ID embeds invisible watermarks in text from Gemini, images from Imagen, and video from Veo, so AI output can be identified automatically. The C2PA standard, backed by major camera and software makers, attaches cryptographically signed provenance to a file, proof of where it came from, like a certificate of authenticity. Yet the vast majority of content online carries no watermark and no provenance at all. The honest summary, detection is an arms race, and right now the fakes are winning the distribution war. Lawmakers are catching up slowly. The European Union's AI Act, in force since August 2024, requires that AI-generated content, including deepfakes, be clearly labeled. In the United States, the Take It Down Act was signed in May 2025, targeting non-consensual intimate images, including deepfakes, and forcing platforms to remove them quickly. A federal Deepfake Accountability Act has been introduced in Congress, and a wave of state laws now criminalize non-consensual deepfakes. But enforcement lags far behind creation. Fakes cross borders, hide behind anonymous accounts, and vanish by the time investigators arrive. Laws can punish the makers, yet they cannot unspread a lie that 8 billion people have already seen. Regulation is essential, but it is a backstop, not a shield. Which means the front line of this fight sits closer to home than you think. Here is the practical part, because this affects you whether or not you are ever targeted. First, protect your identity. Share your face and voice deliberately. Everything you post becomes raw material for a clone. Second, build verification habits. If someone calls claiming to be a relative in trouble, hang up and call them back on a number you know is theirs. Agree on a private code word with family for emergencies. Scammers count on panic. A code word survives panic. Third, check before you share. Ask where a video came from, who published it, and whether credible sources confirm it. Fourth, treat urgency as a red flag. The pressure to act immediately is the con artist's favorite tool. The moment you feel rushed, slow down. And finally, remember the liar's dividend. Fakes are used to discredit real evidence too. Doubt is a tool, verification is the response. You do not need to be a technologist. You need one habit: verify before you trust. That habit is the strongest defense in the deepfake arms race, and it belongs to you.